Here we have a quick demonstration on how to annotate a poem for figurative language. This is the same poem that you have, The Dawn's Awake. Notice the apostrophe S, so that must mean the dawn is awake. So that would be an important thing to note on your paper. So the first annotation you may do is to circle that, say the dawn is awake. And that should indicate to you right away, because of that linking verb is, that we have a metaphor. So the whole poem is a metaphor, so to speak, for the dawn representing something. We may not know exactly what yet. On your particular handout, it gives you some directions. So identify two examples of personification. So I'm going to show you two different ways to annotate for personification, just for that first question. And then you're going to continue to find the rest of them on your own. So the dawn's awake, right off the bat. That sounds like a personal quality to me, a human quality, the dawn being awake. So we identified it as a metaphor at first, but it's also personification. So you box in or underline the personification as the directions told you to. Identify the personification, but it also says to explain what is being personified and how. So out to the side, you annotate with an explanation of what you have found. How is this personification? Being awake is a human quality. So this is a perfect way to annotate if you can write on your paper. Sometimes you're working out of a textbook or a novel and you're not allowed to write on your paper. So we're going to look for another example of personification. It's on down in the second stanza there. It says, "Over all the sky so gray forlorn, a torch of gold is born." If you look at your footnotes, forlorn means pitifully sad and abandoned or lonely. Well, those sound like human qualities to me. So if you're working with something that you are not able to write on, this is where your Post-it notes come in very handily, because you simply attach a note next to the personification. You may have to draw an arrow to it to remember specifically what you were talking about. It's personification because the sky is sad and lonely. These are human qualities. You are now going to continue to annotate this entire poem for the things that it asks you to find, as it does down at the bottom. Example of hyperbole, example of metaphor, and then imagery, and it explains to you what imagery is at the bottom. So go ahead and do that, and when we're finished, we'll take a look at the whole thing and see how you did with your annotations.